record to the class. And then I am so excited to introduce Betty. Betty has given our last 2 sessions. She is our fearless leader for our SwiftUI study group, taking this over and sharing 8 weeks of fantastic content. So Betty, if you are ready, feel free to take over and start presenting.
Yes, thank you, Sierra, for the presentation, and also for guide everyone of us on this fantastic track, Women Who Code Mobile. And also big thanks to, I saw that there is Mackenzie, who is here, and I came at Women Who Code Mobile track 3 years ago, and also Mackenzie was a real support for everything to trust and my career, and yes, thank you, Mackenzie, also. So today it is the 3rd session of a study group. I just add this slide in order, if you want to contact me, you have all the kind of link, social link and so on betty.dev. So betty.dev in your navigator. I'm based in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and I am an iOS developer. Also, I would like to remind the spirit of this group. We are following the tutorial of Apple. It's a choice. There is a lot of other tutorial, but it is from Apple, and Swift is from Apple on Apple platform. So Apple learning platform it was obvious for us. And the spirit is also to do it together and ask all your question. If I can answer, I will, or will answer you later and think about your question. We will doing step by step. And the 2 other time, it was 1 hour, the session. I prefer not do more than 1 hour. Yes, and it's better for everyone, I think. There is a lot of information, and so kind. Yeah, this group is want to be kind, as the most kindly as possible. Also join our Slack group, as Sierra mentioned just before. It's really important to share and to feel all the energy of Women Who Code Mobile. The spirit of this group is also to give you a routine and to feel confident, to feel confident in tech. The goal is to learn the basics of Xcode, SwiftUI, UIKit, and create an iOS app. If you have questions, there is also Navati who is here, and with me we can answer on the chat or directly by unmute yourself. Also, I just created a link, a place on my GitHub. Wiki. I call it a FAQ, in order to put all the question that you have you ask me after or during this session. Oops, sorry. And concretely, we, as already mentioned, we will following the Apple tutorials. It is an application which is called Schrodinger, and we did and we will make all the chapter by chapter, and sometimes we are mixing the end of a chapter with the beginning on of the other. So here are the inputs, the input of this SwiftUI series, all concretely the chapter of the tutorials. So we have already done the SwiftUI essentials and also part of views, and today views and navigation, we'll see. So in the two inputs, today we will finish to display data in a list. Last session we created a card view. So we will create a list and display the data in it. And also, we will begin this part, navigation, by creating a navigation hierarchy. And so I underline the two inputs of today. And the agenda is data in a list and navigation with beautiful flowers from the Netherlands. So data in a list. We will create today a new screen. And I notice that the way of Apple to explain colors icon is not fully clear and not really mentioned in the tutorial. So I will tell you how to do it properly. That's the reason why I put a link. As I mentioned in the wiki, it's about a lot of people do not know how to find the colors and the icon. But I will give you the answer just, or you can go on the link. So new screen, and the concept of list. A list is a container that presents a row of data arranged in a single column. And I put you here a thing just a little, maybe a little bit more technical than the other week, just to mention the way that a list is structure. A list is a struct. As you know, there is class and struct, and a list is a struct. And here you can find what selection value and content, what you have to mention in your list to be able to work. And also I added links, documentation, Apple documentation on the list, and also the behavior of a list, and to maybe understand more what you can pass in a list. What is the meaning of hashable and the selection value in a list. So now let's go together. To begin, alors, sorry, I will share my desktop. It's better for me. So as the other day, I think it's a good thing to have part of my screen with the code and the other part with the tutorial. So here, if you want to begin just on the same way as me, you can you go on the GitHub here, and you can so I put the link here in example, and you can download the zip as we have finished the other way. So I did exactly this. I download the zip, I open the application, and here, so last week we were at this part. We just finished creating a card view, and we now, today we will display data in a list. So I I followed the tutorial. Maybe I've launched this one, so I stop the task. Now, is it clear for everyone the way I'm doing? If you want to say something, ask.
Could you just send the share the link for the tutorials? I've shared the link for your GitHub, just the tutorial link.
Yes. For the tutorial, it is this one. And to download the last session, it is here, the zip. Is it good, Navati?
Yes.
Yeah. So now display a list of daily Scrum. So we have to create a view. To create a view, just not in the model, but just here, you click on this folder, and I like to do Command N. It's really fast. So SwiftUI view. So I click next, and I call it Scrum view. Here it is. So I follow the guidelines here. Add a constant property name scrums. So here, just before the body, I create late scrums and daily scrum. Added the scrums property cause, as you can see, an error. So Xcode will help me, maybe. Then I click on fix. So you have to tell Xcode what he have to display on the screen. So we have already created a simple sample data the other week. So we show the road to go to the data in the preview. This part is the preview here. And replace the default text view with a list view. So now I put this one and I replace with a list. The list initializer in this step accept a view builder and its only parameters. So you can add row with the same syntax. Here, up. So we populate the list using a for each view. So you call for each with the auto completion. And here you have a lot of choice, and you have to put Scrum here. So you can see the array. And there is a lot of way of doing, but in this tutorial, we show which ID you have to refer in our struct, in our array. So in for each, you need to know what is the things, what is the thing which will be unique, and in order to identify the unique way of calling the data. So Scrum in I put here in the for each in order to create a view for each item. And initialize now a card view in for each closure. So I call the view card view, and there is also parameters. So I say for each scrum, use this view for each scrum. This closure return a card view for each element in the scrum array. Exactly. I set the background color with, as we have already saw last week, a modifier. This is a list, and I can directly background. It will find if you tap only the end, it will find fastly the modifier. And here I said Scrum theme, and I call the main color. So I have my background, but here you can notice that there is no color because you need, and it's not explained in this tutorial how to do it. That's the reason why I create the famous wiki. So here you have to download the icons and the color in order to have the color as you see here. Oops, sorry. This kind of color. So you have to click here. I put the link of the Apple link, but it's not obvious to find. And you open, so I can do it. Yeah, here. You follow this, you can start a complete project or starting project, and you follow, double click, go to folder, Scrum. Here you have the theme, which are the color that we have create an enum the other day, the other week. So you take your theme, you put it here, and also my little icons. Tell me if it is mentioned somewhere, but I'm not sure at all. So now you will have, if I go meeting card view Scrum, I'll put it here, prefer it. Oops, hey, colors now, much better, it's color. So I was where I was here. So list row background with color. After that, it's a section on the identifiable. It's a really interesting concept, and it's a protocol, identifiable, and there is a protocol nested with other protocol, which are really interesting to fully understand. Identifiable, it's not really difficult to understand, it's to identify. So we'll do it. So open daily Scrum. So here in my model, I got a daily Scrum. And so I put identifiable here. And declare to this struct to be to conform to that protocol. And if we want to conform to identifiable, we have to have a constant, and Apple only understand ID. ID, it's for Apple, for Swift. It's the unique way to to identify for Swift an ID, a specific ID in a struct. So lot of warning. It's completely normal. So after that, we in order to turn off the warning, we could fix it with, because he asking for obviously the other variable, but a better way to do it is to initialize to the struct to give directly an ID, automatically an ID. So that's why I'm doing here. Oops. And I say here, I initialize with a UUID, which creates a unique ID for each array. So obviously I have to put all the other variable and the attendees. It's an array of string, and yes, you can copy paste also, but it's interesting to not to make mistake. Copy paste this one. It's interesting to understand. And also theme and theme like that. So to init curly bracket, and you have also to initialize inside the init. So this is a classic way of doing of Swift. Control I. So no warning here. And add a constant name ID. That's what I did here. Your code still won't compile because the daily Scrum initializer in the data array don't include an ID argument. Add initializer. That's what we did. Your code compile after you add this initializer. Now the daily Scrum conform to the identifiable protocol. So it allows you to go back in the screen view, and you could delete this part because Apple Swift know that SwiftUI know that for in a for each he will look for the ID in the your struct. And now that's okay. My simple data in Scrum view, remove the ID parameters from the for each initializer. Now you will make Scrum view the app root. Yeah, now if we launch the app in the simulator, it's not the good screen. It's this screen. And we want to tell the app to build on this screen. So we go in the Scrumdinger app in the Windows group, and instead of this meeting view, we will put our beautiful Scrum view with obviously all the parameters, and with daily Scrum my sample data here. So I always following, yeah. So here it is mentioned that here Windows group is one of the primitive scene that SwiftUI provide. It's the beginning. It is called main. It is the beginning of the app. So build and run the app in the simulator to verify. Control R or run here, and that's okay. We've got the same. I hope you too. So now we will do. Yes, we are at the end of the list party. Have you got question? And after that, we will go to the navigation hierarchy. Ten seconds. Everybody is okay. So now, the navigation hierarchy, did I mention something? No. So not this one, this one. Here you can download. Just notice that you can download the project. Is this the same thing I think that I'm doing, except you don't have my signature here. So setup navigation. So from the navigation view container view, you can traverse a stack of view in a hierarchy. You'll set up the navigation but by wrapping your root view in the main app file. So we are at the good place. So in order to navigate in our app, it's so difficult to understand that you have to add a navigation view. There's a lot of way of writing here. I put curly bracket like this, and after I delete this one and put inside and Control I. And so here I put my navigation view, but also in order to view my navigation view in my SwiftUI view, I have to just add just above in the preview. Here I've got my view and just above my preview. So I have to do the same, exactly the same navigation view here, and to delete and put inside. Adding the navigation view, display navigation, and that's okay for the preview. And here now I want to click on a row and go in another view. It's so simple in SwiftUI. You have to add a navigation link. Add a navigation link, passing a text. So just after your for each here, you add a navigation link. You can choose destination, label, etc. Or you can begin to write the text, and it will propose auto-completion super parts, propose you the way of writing here. So here I put a text, and I want to add Scrum title in my view. And there's also multiple way of doing this, but I just enter in the label, and I had this part. Is it correct? Destination present the single view in the navigation hierarchy. And SwiftUI automatically adds a disclosure indicator to the row. And yes, you have to, as you notice, you have to take care about the modifier. It's not obvious to understand where to put the modifier, all the we can say the subview of a view. It's not a subview, it's a view of a view. It's not obvious to understand where to put it, but if you want if it doesn't work, you just change in the other outside of your view or your navigation or your VStack or the other view. So here, that's what the tutorial say. Move the list round background modifier to the navigation link. Add a navigation title. You have here, you click just after the curly bracket in order to see where you have to put your navigation link. So navigation link, navigation title, navigation link. Daily scrums. This is a title. Here I can resume to see. Wake up. And you have to launch. You have the resume, yes, but to see the link, you have to play it. Click on the play button to see if it's working in the SwiftUI preview. So it is not finished. The child view can affect the appearance of the navigation view using modifiers. And we will now have a toolbar just above the navigation link. Toolbar. And here again, you can write inside the parentheses, or you can enter on the in order to have the full closure and all the space. So here I will add a plus button, and you can begin with action, label. What is my action? Nothing. Oopla, curly bracket. And my label button without action is not really a button. Image with my system image, which is a plus. You will revisit this view in a later tutorial when you create a screen for adding new scrum. So important also things, accessibility. Because as we mentioned the last week, Apple will read plus. It will not read the something useful. So if you turn on voiceover, so you have to explain what you have to mention to read with voiceover. So new scrum accessibility label for the button. So now build and run. And you've got the 3 screen. You only have a placeholder here, but that's what we want, and the plus button. SwiftUI automatically add the back button in the yes here. You don't have to care about the back button, and that was not so easy to do in UIKit. So SwiftUI is doing all the job for us. And here, now do you have question before the detail view? Is it clear for everyone the way we're doing? Do you want, it's a vote. Do you want a break room to do by yourself the detail view and come back after in, for example, in 10 minutes or 50 minutes? It was a proposition of Catherine, but she's not here. So in the chat, you have to vote. Do you want a break room, for example, with, I don't know, two people, and you can do it together and come back in 10 minutes, for example, for the detail view, like coding. It's okay. It means that you don't want a break room, or you want a break room.
We want to code with you. So
You what? Sorry?
we want to code with you. So this is good, like what we are doing right now.
No break room required. Okay.
No.
Thank you. Agree? Oh, earth. I love the earth. Okay, agree. Everybody's agree. That's a smile. Okay, let's continue in that way. So now create the detail view. So you can navigate from high-level view to a detail view. So you can manipulate specific data elements. In this section, we'll create the Scrum detail view. So create a new SwiftUI view file named detail view. So here again, command N, and the detail view. Here the same. Add a Scrum constant just before the body for the variable Scrum. My daily Scrum. The compiler throws an error because the detail view call in the provider is missing the Scrum parameters. So I can fix it. It will help me. In the preview provider, initialize the Scrum data as we already did, but this time with sample data, the first one. First one is always 0. The Scrum data, the compiler is resolved with the update to the call. So wrap detail view, navigation view to preview navigation element on the canvas. So again, a navigation view here. So I cut this one and put it in script view. Swift update the navigation link as a in Scrum view. Where is my Scrum view? Here, sorry. Just after the for link, update the navigation link to set detail view as a new destination. So just before we add, I will put away the canvas up like this. And so here I had a text, and now I want something else. I want my detail view with my Scrum here, and link to detail view as a new destination. And that's okay. It is the same. So I think you have already understand the way to give a navigation to a view. So now we will add visual component to the detail view. Now that you have a template of the detail view, you will add the visual component to complete it. The completed detail view display the name. Here we can display the name of a Scrum, meeting duration, card color, attended list. So in detail view, I will take it, put here the view, replaced in detail view, replace the text view with a list. Again, same thing with a list. To display meeting detail, you will use the list to display static stub view. So I create a section. Maybe I will put again my Canva in order to show you in real time what is acting. So here I put my Canva. It is like the pre-order. Little Canva. Meeting info like that. Yes. In the next section of this tutorial, you will dynamically build list row. Add a section with, it's what I already did. Okay. Add the section with either meeting info, section create visual distinction within your list. Add a label that contains the text start meeting. So inside, I create a label. A label is like an image with a text, a title, but can take this one or no, nothing, or we can, yeah, it depends. You can keep it, but you don't really need it. When it's not compiling, it's not agreed to show the documentation. Missing, so system image, and system image is timer. I want to show the label here, title, icon. Yeah, here you have title and icon. Okay, there is no need to put parameters. So add a label that contains the text and the timer icon. Tapping this row does nothing, but in the future it will navigate user to the meeting tips. And by default, VoiceOver reads, it's about accessibility, reads the title of the label. If you want VoiceOver to convey more detail, replace the default spoken text by adding our an accessibility label. We already did a few times before. Now we will add modifier here in order to change the font. So easy again in SwiftUI, the font, the foreground with the color of the text. The row is an interactive element. To use the same color as those are interactive elements, use accent color. Create a H tag and add a label just in the section, in the same section. Yes, in the same section. You can create a lot of sections in the same view. That's the reason why. So my H tag, we saw on the first session, all the things you have to know about H tag, this tag, this tag. So here create a H tag and add a label again, and length, and the icon is a system image, which is clock. And if you, for example, made a mistake in the name of the system image, which is from a library of Apple, SF symbol, which is called SF symbol. We also told about the SF symbol on the first or the second session. So just a letter can hide your image. So not show your image. So step 6 now, add a spacer. The thing which is really cool is that you see directly what you are adding on the screen, and display the value of the meeting length in a text view. So here I put minutes, and I call scrum length in minutes. Accessibility, add accessibility element to the H tag to combine the label and text element for accessibility user. It's very cool that this tutorial insists on that accessibility part, because in real life, not a lot of people care about to think of it during the code when they are coding. So it's a good thing to remind us all the time that it exists, and it is not so complicated to hide. VoiceOver then read the two elements as one statement, for example, length 10 minutes without the modifier. So after that, we'll create an H stack, horizontal stack, with a label and a theme. Again, my icon, blip, blip, my icon. Wow, paint palette, okay, cool. From the Scrum card theme, before you survey the theme value in the interface, you will capitalize the theme enumeration cases, which are currently defined in the lowercase. So in order to capitalize, I'm not sure if we can't do it here. No, maybe there is something. So it's better to add a variable in the theme here, in the what they call the model, more than the MVC part. So here we add a name property that capitalizes the row value. So var name, it's a string, it's a reactive variable up with capitalize. Now we can add it in detail view Swift, in detail view here, after spacer, yeah, in detail view add a spacer. So just after this we add a spacer, and we display the theme name in a text view, again a text view, and I call in the Scrum the theme and the name. What is missing? Accessibility. Add accessibility element children to the H tag to combine the label and text element in VoiceOver. So my H tag, click after the curly bracket, accessibility element from the child, and there is, you can notice that there is combine and contain. So here combine both. So, and after that, a little brush on the text. This text, style the text. More often, maybe at the beginning we put the style here, but more often we create a variable for, or func, it depends, for repeating style. If you have to put the same style on the different text, it's boring to do it a lot of time. Background, so my background Scrum, what is it, main color, and main color here. What else? A little corners, resume, corner radius, show me. Yes, yellow, wow. and to add corner radius here. And yes, you have the corner. Yes, the last week we show how to do it in another way. You can do the cool thing in SwiftUI that you can do. You can style in the code or also in the attribute properties. So here you are, or the modifier, as it is called, modifier, for the padding, for the same thing here as you can put in the code. And if you want to add more, again, don't forget that, for example, you can easily add an alert. If I want, for example, to say an alert here, I click and he created the alert in the code. It is not for the lazy person. It is just to when you forget how to start the alert, it's easy. Okay, it's an easy example, but sometimes you can forget. So it is really cool to have the choice and to be able not to choose between a screen, before it was called a storyboard, or the code. It is SwiftUI do it at the same time. So come back to my corners, accessibility element and corners radius. And that's it for today. Section 4 for next week. And have you got a question in the chat? I have homework now. Step 4 in SwiftUI. Yes. Yes. Accessibility is really an unknown part of the Swift code. Even if you are senior, or it's not famous. Not a lot of people think about it. Oh, in SwiftUI it's so easy. Hello, Mackenzie.
Hi, Betty. Thank you so much. And thanks for everyone who attended. It's so cool to see you hosting this series, because I feel like we started with Women Who Code together too, and got to meet at the Berlin conference. But I also just wanted to jump on too, before we let everyone go. Sierra mentioned at the beginning that we're still accepting talks for our upcoming conference in May. So I would love to see all of you on the call submit a talk if you'd like to. And you can always reach out to me on Slack if you want me to review your talk proposal. I know that Sierra is also reviewing talk proposals as well. And then we also just need general volunteers for the conference to be moderators. So love to see you, Betty, Navati. I don't know if you wanted to chime in and say anything as well. I see you've turned on your camera.
And is there any question? Stephanie, Manu, Ritika, Esther, Meira, Sandy, no question? Everything is okay? So don't forget to join us on the Slack channel, really important. And it's really supporting, it's really cool. Join the Slack channel.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I wanted to ask one thing. I joined